Let us begin very softly, as if we are stepping into a dream with slow feet and an unhurried mind. Tonight, you are listening to a calm story for deep rest, made for the gentle world of Mindlepic, where history becomes quiet, and quiet becomes sleep. Before we take our first steps into the old streets, I want to ask you something in a natural, friendly way, the way a calm guide might ask a traveler who has just arrived at the edge of town. Where are you listening from tonight? What country are you in? What city are you in? You do not need to answer out loud. You can simply notice the idea and let it float by like a small leaf on slow water. The story will still carry you either way. Now, imagine the hour just before sunrise, when the world feels like it is holding its breath. The sky is not bright yet. It is a deep, soft gray with a hint of pale blue far away. The stars are fading, but they are not in a hurry to leave. The air is cool, not cold, just cool enough to feel clean and new. We are standing outside a medieval town, not in a place of famous battles or loud kings, but in a normal town where ordinary people live ordinary lives. The town has walls, not because it wants to be dramatic, but because people in those centuries liked the feeling of a boundary. Walls meant you could count your gates. You could close them at night. You could keep animals from wandering in. You could keep carts from rolling through at strange hours. We are near one of the gates now, the kind built from heavy timber and iron bands, with a small guardhouse beside it. There is no shouting, no urgent trumpet, only the quiet sound of morning. A guard is there, but he is not standing stiff like a statue. He shifts his weight slowly. He rubs his hands together. He yawns once, not rudely, just honestly. He has been awake for many hours, and he is thinking about simple things. Warm bread, a mug of small beer, the ache in his feet, the comfort of sitting down. His clothes are practical. A wool tunic, thick hose, a belt with a pouch. The wool is slightly rough, the way wool often is when it is made for work rather than beauty. The guard's lantern is a small flame inside a glass or horn window, glowing softly. It makes a little circle of light on the ground. We walk past him gently, as if we are allowed to be here because we are part of the morning itself. And in a way, we are. As we enter the town, the street beneath our feet is uneven. It is not smooth like modern roads. It is made of packed earth, stones, and the slow history of many footsteps. In some places, old boards have been laid to make the walking easier, especially where the ground becomes muddy after rain. The boards are worn and dark, and they creak softly when you step. The buildings are close together. Some are timber-framed, with white plaster between dark wooden beams. Some are stone, especially near the center where richer merchants may live, or where the town has spent years improving certain streets. Roofs are steep, so rain slides off easily. Roof tiles might be clay in some places, wooden shingles in others, depending on the region and the wealth of the owner. Windows are small. Glass is expensive. Many windows are covered with shutters or oiled cloth, or horn panels that let in a little light. And right now, nearly all of them are closed. The town is still asleep, but even a sleeping town has small sounds. Somewhere, a dog shifts and sighs in its sleep. In a courtyard, you hear the quiet cluck of a hen that woke up too early. A wagon wheel creaks slightly as it settles, the wood changing shape with the cool air. From a chimney, there is the faint smell of last night's fire, now only ash and memory. We walk slowly, not trying to reach a destination quickly. This is not a story that rushes. This is a story that drifts. In medieval towns, mornings begin early because daylight is precious. Candles and oil lamps cost money. They are used, but they are not wasted. So people rise when the light rises, and they sleep when darkness becomes deep. We pass a row of small homes where working families live. The doors are simple. The hinges are loud if you move them quickly, so people learn to move gently. A door can wake a house. A latch can be heard by neighbors. In towns where houses share walls and alleys are narrow, sound travels. Quiet becomes a kind of politeness. We turn a corner. The street is slightly wider here. It leads toward the market square, the heart of the town's daily rhythm. The market square in daytime can be busy, filled with voices and bargaining and footsteps. But at dawn it is calm, almost empty, and that emptiness feels peaceful. In the center of the square, there may be a simple fountain or a town well. In many towns, the well is a meeting place because water is not only needed, it is shared. People come with buckets. They wait their turn. They talk quietly about bread, weather, and children. The well is a place where the day begins. Right now, the well is still. The rope hangs down, dark and quiet. The wooden frame above it looks slightly damp from the night air. A little mist sits low near the ground, not like a scary fog, but like soft breath. The mist makes the stones look gentler. It blurs the edges of things. We take a slow breath. Imagine the smell of the town in the early morning. It is a mix of cool air, faint smoke, wet wood, animals, and earth. Medieval towns have animals close by. Even in the town itself, many families keep chickens, maybe a pig, sometimes a goat. Horses and oxen are used for work, and their presence is part of the town's ordinary scent. No perfume covers it up. No bright chemical smell interrupts it. It is raw life, but quiet life. Now, as the sky begins to change, a very small touch of light appears. It is not a dramatic sunrise. It is just a gentle shift. Gray becomes lighter gray. Blue becomes clearer. The edges of rooftops are easier to see. In one house, a shutter opens a little. Not all the way, just enough to peek out. Then it closes again. Someone looked at the morning and decided, yes, it is time soon, but not quite yet. We walk past a bakery, and even before we see the baker, we can smell something new. A bakery in medieval times is not like a modern store with bright shelves and clean glass cases. It is a working place. Flour dust clings to surfaces. The oven is large, often built of stone or brick. The heat it holds is one of the most precious things in the neighborhood. The baker's day begins before almost everyone else, because bread must be ready when people wake up. Inside, you can imagine a man or woman moving quietly, feeding the oven, shaping loaves. The dough is heavy and soft. It yields under the hands. It has that living texture that comes from yeast, from time, from patience. In medieval towns, bread is not just food. Bread is routine. Bread is comfort. Bread is the reliable center of a meal. The smell we notice now is the first hint of crust warming, the promise of breakfast. We keep walking. We pass the workshop of a cooper, the person who makes barrels. Barrels are essential. They store ale, wine, salt fish, flour, and many other goods. Without barrels, trade becomes harder. Without barrels, storage becomes less safe. The cooper's skill is a quiet kind of power in the town. The cooper's door is closed now, but outside, a few staves of wood lean against the wall. They are curved pieces, shaped carefully, waiting to become something useful. Next is a smithy where the blacksmith works. In the daytime, it can be loud. Hammer on metal, bellows breathing, sparks jumping like tiny stars. But at dawn, it is calm. The forge is dark. The tools hang like sleeping shapes. And that is one of the gentle mysteries of a medieval town. How quiet it looks when the work is not happening. It is as if the town is a stage before the play begins. We turn again, walking toward a small church, chapel, or parish building. Not every town has a grand cathedral. Many towns have a modest church with a bell tower. The bell is important. It marks time for the community. It calls people to prayer, but it also calls them to the shared schedule of life. Services, meetings, warnings, celebrations. The bell is silent right now. The churchyard is still. The stones are damp. A few birds flutter softly, settling on a low wall. Their sounds are light, not sharp, not startling, just a small life waking up. We pause near the church door, not to go in, but to feel the calm of that place. The wood is thick and dark. The ironwork is simple but strong. A small carving may be there, perhaps a pattern, perhaps a symbol. And then we continue. Now, let us bring our attention to the daily lives that will soon begin. Think of the people who live here. Not famous names, ordinary names. A woman who makes candles from tallow, pouring hot fat into molds, trimming wicks, stacking candles carefully. A man who repairs shoes, cutting leather, pressing holes, threading waxed cord with steady hands. A young apprentice who sweeps a shop floor, learns to count coins, learns the weight of flour in a sack. A washer who carries heavy wet cloth, hanging it to dry where the wind can reach it. A potter shaping clay, turning a wheel with slow, practiced rhythm. A merchant who checks his inventory and plans which stall to set up today. In the Middle Ages, much of life is hands and repetition. It is the same action done many times until it becomes smooth and familiar. And that is why this world is perfect for sleep storytelling, because it is built from slow routines. Even the way people cook is slow. A morning meal may be simple. Bread, maybe cheese, maybe a little porridge, maybe an onion or apple if available. Tea is not common in most medieval European towns, but there are warm drinks, warmed ale, thin broth, water heated with herbs. People choose what is available. People choose what is cheap. People choose what fills the belly without waste. Let us walk toward the edge of the town, where small gardens might sit behind houses. Many town families grow what they can. Herbs, cabbage, leeks, beans, even a small patch of green matters. Fresh food is valuable. The gardens at dawn are quiet. Leaves hold tiny drops of moisture. The soil smells rich and dark. A wooden fence leans a little. Repaired many times with whatever wood could be found. We hear a soft sound. Someone is awake. A door opens carefully. A woman steps out with a shawl over her shoulders. The air is cool, so she pulls the shawl closer. She carries a small bucket. She walks toward the garden, maybe to check herbs, maybe to feed a chicken, maybe simply to begin her day before the house becomes busy. She moves without rushing. She has done this many mornings. She knows the path, and that is another calm detail of medieval life. Familiarity. Streets are known. Neighbors are known. The same faces appear again and again. Life is smaller in range, even when it is big in effort. Now we return slowly toward the center again, because the market square is about to awaken. A cart rolls in at the far end of the street, wheels turning slowly. The sound is low and rhythmic. Wood, iron, stone, earth. The driver speaks softly to the animal pulling it, perhaps an ox or a sturdy horse. The animal's breath appears faintly in the cold air. The cart carries goods, maybe sacks of grain, bundles of firewood, baskets of vegetables, or clay pots wrapped in straw. The driver stops in the square. He does not shout. He begins unloading, one item at a time. Soon another person arrives, then another. The square is still quiet, but now it is quietly active. A stall frame is carried in pieces. A cloth is unrolled. A wooden table is set down. Someone ties a rope. Someone lifts a basket and places it carefully. There is no loud music, no bright signs, only practical work. And if you want, you can imagine yourself walking among these early sellers, just observing, not buying, not bargaining, just looking. On one stall, there are turnips and onions, still dusty from the earth. On another, there are eggs in straw, pale and fragile. On another, there might be small fish from a river, silvery and clean. There could be a cloth seller arriving later with folded woolens. A spice merchant might appear if the town is wealthy enough, bringing small, precious pinches of flavor from far away. But right now, it is mostly local, mostly simple, mostly quiet. The sky continues to lighten. The town's shapes become clearer. Chimneys begin to release thin smoke as fires are rekindled for cooking and warmth. Smoke rises straight up at first, then spreads as it meets higher air. We walk slowly along the edge of the square, and we notice something gentle. The sound of footsteps increasing, not in a sudden rush, but in a soft build. One pair of feet, then another. People wake. People step outside. People begin. A child may run a few steps, then slow down because a parent calls softly. A dog trots along, tail low and calm. A neighbor greets another with a nod. In medieval towns, greetings are small and frequent. People see each other often. Words do not need to be large. Now, let us drift into one particular place in this town, because our story will follow a continuous path, like a long walk that continues day by day. At the edge of the square, there is a narrow street that leads to a small workshop. Not fancy, not grand, just a workshop where careful work happens. We will go there soon, but not yet. First, we will linger in the early morning a little longer, letting the town settle into its waking rhythm. Notice the textures, the rough grain of wooden beams, the uneven stones underfoot, the thick wool of cloaks, the smooth clay of a jug, the soft steam rising from a pot somewhere inside a home, the crispness of air entering your lungs. Notice the colors, muted browns and grays of wood and stone, soft off-white plaster, deep earthy reds of clay tiles, faint green of winter herbs, or damp moss on walls, a pale ribbon of sunrise far away. Nothing is bright in a harsh way. Everything looks a little softened by time, and as we keep walking, we begin to feel the town's main gift. Repetition. The same streets, the same wells, the same doors, the same daily tasks. Repetition can be boring in the best way. It can be comforting. It can be a gentle blanket over the mind. If your thoughts are busy tonight, you can place them down here in the square, like setting a basket on the ground. You can pick them up later if you want. But for now, you can simply walk. We make one slow circle around the market square, and then we pause near a stone wall that catches the first light. The stone feels cool if you touch it. It holds the night's temperature, and that coolness is steady, like the calm of history itself. This town has been here for generations. People have lived, worked, eaten, laughed softly, argued quietly, and gone to sleep. Night after night, year after year. And now, in this story, you get to rest inside that long, steady rhythm. In the next part, we will follow our quiet walk deeper into the town's waking morning. We will step into a workshop where a careful craft begins. We will watch the slow starting of a day, the tools, the routines, the simple planning. But for now, we will end part 1 in the same gentle way we began. Slowly, and if you feel relaxed with Mindly Pick, you can like if you want, and you can subscribe if you feel it helps you relax more. The morning continues slowly, just as it should. The sky is now a soft, pale blue, and the first true sunlight is touching the highest rooftops of the town. Not strong sunlight, not bright in a sharp way, just a gentle golden color that makes the edges of buildings glow quietly. The market square behind us is becoming a little more active now, but we are walking away from the center, moving into a narrower street where the sound of the town becomes softer again. Here, the buildings lean slightly toward each other, like old neighbors sharing secrets across the street. The ground is still uneven, and in some places, you can see thin lines of water moving slowly toward a drainage channel along the side. Medieval towns are used to managing water carefully. Rain, washing water, and street water all move slowly through small channels built into the ground. Nothing is wasted if it can be helped. Nothing is moved quickly if slow movement works better. As we walk, you may notice the smell of fresh bread is stronger now. The baker is working fully. The ovens are hot. Some early customers have already come and gone, carrying warm loaves wrapped in cloth or tucked carefully into baskets. But our path is leading us somewhere quieter. We stop in front of a small wooden door set into a stone and timber building. The building is 2 floors tall. The bottom is stone for strength. The upper part is timber and plaster. The roof is steep, with dark clay tiles that hold the memory of many winters and many summers. This is a workshop, not famous, not decorated, but important in the quiet way that daily work is important. The door is not locked. In medieval towns, many workshops open early and stay open long. The lock might be simple. Trust is often built on knowing who belongs in the neighborhood and who does not. We push the door gently. Inside, the air is cooler than outside, but not cold. The room smells like wood shavings, oil, leather, and dust. It is the smell of careful work done slowly, day after day. This workshop belongs to a maker of small wooden goods, not large carts, not giant beams, but small useful items: bowls, spoons, handles, pegs, tool grips, simple toys for children, and sometimes parts for other craftsmen. The room is lit by 2 small windows and 1 oil lamp that is still burning softly, because the worker arrived before sunrise. Let us imagine him. He is not old, but not young either, somewhere in the middle years. His hands are strong, but not rough in a careless way. They are rough in a practiced way. His fingers know how much pressure wood can take before it cracks. His palms know the weight of tools without looking. He is already awake, already working, because routine is comfort. He stands at a wooden bench. The bench has marks from years of cutting, sanding, and shaping. Each mark is a small memory of something made before. On the bench are tools: a knife with a curved blade for carving, a small hand plane for smoothing wood, a mallet, a few chisels, a measuring stick with faint lines burned into it, a small pot of oil for finishing surfaces. Nothing is shiny in a new way. Everything is used, but cared for. He is working on a simple wooden bowl. The bowl started as a block of wood days ago, first cut rough, then shaped slowly, then hollowed, then smoothed. Now it is in the stage where the surface is being refined with careful, repeating movements. The sound in the workshop is very soft. Scrape, pause, scrape, pause. The tool moves along the inside curve of the bowl. Wood dust gathers in a small pile. Every few moments he brushes it away with his hand. In medieval daily life, time often follows the work, not the clock. There are bells in town. There is sunlight. But much of the day is measured by tasks. When this piece is finished, he will start another. When the light fades, he will stop. He is not rushing. Rushing wastes material. Rushing makes mistakes. Wood is valuable. Time is valuable. Skill is valuable. Near the wall is a shelf holding finished items, small bowls stacked inside each other, wooden spoons in a bundle tied with string, small round boxes with lids that fit perfectly, simple children's toys, maybe a small carved horse, maybe a spinning top. These are not luxury goods. These are daily life goods, and that is why this workshop matters quietly to the town. Now, notice something else. There is a small iron stove in the corner, not for heavy heating, but enough to keep the room from becoming too cold in winter mornings. Right now, it is only warm enough to make the air comfortable. Above the stove, herbs hang drying, maybe thyme, maybe sage, maybe something local. The herbs add a faint smell that mixes with wood and oil. The worker pauses and stretches his back slowly, not dramatically, just a small movement. He has learned to care for his body because his body is his work. He walks to a small jug on a side table and drinks water. Then he eats a small piece of bread, maybe yesterday's bread, still good, still filling. Meals in working mornings are simple. Food is fuel. Food is comfort. Food is routine. Outside, we hear footsteps pass. Voices low. Someone leading a donkey. Someone pulling a small cart. The town is now fully waking. But inside this workshop, time still feels slow. Let us move closer to the bench. Notice the wood grain of the bowl. Light and dark lines running like quiet waves. Each tree grows differently. Each bowl becomes slightly different. In a world without machines making thousands of identical items, every object has small uniqueness, and there is something calming about that. Nothing is perfectly identical. Nothing is perfectly uniform. Everything carries the memory of hands. The worker now takes a cloth and rubs oil into the bowl surface. The oil darkens the wood slightly. It makes the grain more visible. It protects the bowl from water and wear. He moves the cloth in slow circles. The same circle, again and again. The kind of movement that can almost put a person into a quiet thinking state. In medieval workshops, apprentices often help. Today, maybe the apprentice is not here yet. Maybe he will arrive after breakfast. Maybe he is young and still waking slowly, learning that early rising is part of craft life. On another wall, there is a small chalk mark calendar. Not fancy numbers, just marks counting days. Maybe counting days until a market festival. Maybe counting days until a delivery must be finished. Life is organized, but not in a stressful way, just in a practical way. Now, let us notice the sounds again. Outside, wheels on stone. Inside, cloth on wood. Very far away, maybe a church bell testing a single tone, not ringing fully yet. A bird landing on the roof. The quiet shifting of tools when touched. The worker sets the finished bowl on the shelf. He looks at it for a moment, not proudly in a loud way, just checking, just making sure it is good enough, because in small towns, reputation is slow and powerful. If you make good goods, people come back. If you make weak goods, people remember. He picks up another piece of wood. He studies it. He turns it in his hands, deciding what it wants to become. Bowl, spoon, pegs. He chooses based on the wood shape, based on orders waiting, based on what sells easily. Decision is slow. Decision is careful. And this is another calming truth of medieval daily life. Many decisions are practical and repeatable, not endless choices, not overwhelming variety, just what is needed, just what works. He marks the wood lightly with charcoal. Then he begins shaping again. Cut, turn, cut, turn. The rhythm is steady, predictable, almost like breathing. If your mind is still busy, you can imagine sitting on a small stool in the corner of this workshop, just watching. No one expects you to help. No one expects you to speak. You are just a quiet observer of a quiet morning. Sunlight now reaches the lower parts of the room through the window. Dust particles float in that light, moving slowly like tiny drifting stars. Outside, a child laughs once. Then the sound fades as they move away. A woman calls a name. A dog barks once. Then quiet again. The workshop is like a small island of slow time inside the larger river of the town day. Soon, customers may come. a baker needing new spoon handles, a housewife needing a bowl, a merchant needing small boxes for spices or buttons. But not yet. Morning work time is often protected time. The worker continues shaping wood. His breathing is calm. His shoulders move slowly. His feet stay planted in a familiar place on the floor. And as we stay here, the feeling of routine becomes stronger. Morning light, morning work, morning quiet. In the next part, we will step outside again. We will follow the path of one finished item, leaving the workshop and entering the daily life of the town. We will see how simple objects move through hands, homes, kitchens, and tables. But for now, we let the workshop stay exactly as it is. Steady, calm, repetitive, peaceful. The morning is now fully awake, but not loud, not rushed, not sharp. The light is soft and steady, spreading slowly across rooftops, across walls, across the worn stones of the streets. The town is alive in the gentle way that daily life always is. Not dramatic, not hurried, just steady and dependable. Inside the workshop, the air still holds the calm smell of wood dust and oil. The maker stands at his bench, finishing the last soft polishing movement on another small bowl. But our attention returns to the bowl he finished earlier, the one now resting quietly on the shelf. It sits among other bowls, but today, this one will leave the workshop. Today, it will begin its life in the town. The maker walks toward the shelf. His steps are slow and familiar. He reaches for the bowl and turns it once in the light. He checks the edge with his thumb. Smooth. Even. No sharp places. He taps it gently with his fingernail. The sound is solid and soft. Satisfied, he places it into a simple cloth sack, along with 2 wooden spoons and a small lid box that was ordered. Earlier in the week, he ties the sack loosely, not tight. Easy to open, easy to close, practical. Near the door, there is a small wooden board with names, scratched lightly into it. People who have ordered items. The writing is not fancy, just clear enough to read. The bowl belongs to a woman who lives near the east side of the town, close to the gardens and smaller animal pens. The maker lifts the sack and steps outside. The street is brighter now. The sky is pale blue with thin streaks of white cloud that look almost painted. The air is still cool, but you can feel warmth slowly beginning to grow underneath it. As he walks, the sounds of the town surround him gently. A broom sweeping dust from a doorway, a bucket being lowered into the well, the soft talking of neighbors sharing morning news, the light clatter of pottery being set onto a stall table. The maker nods to people he knows. He does not stop to talk long. Morning delivery time is quiet working time. The sack swings gently at his side. Inside, the wooden bowl touches the spoons with a soft knocking sound. Wood against wood, quiet and harmless. We follow him slowly through the streets. The bakery we passed earlier is now open. The door is wide. Warm air flows out, carrying the smell of fresh bread and warm grain. A small line of customers stands quietly, not impatient, just waiting their turn. Bread is worth waiting for. Next to the bakery, a small cloth seller is hanging wool fabric across a wooden pole to show color and thickness. The cloth moves slightly in the breeze, like slow flags of soft color. Deep brown, faded blue, natural wool cream. The maker continues walking. He turns into a narrower street where homes sit closer together. Here, life is very local. People know who lives behind each door. They know who has new children, who is sick, who has extra eggs, who needs help repairing a roof. Community in medieval towns is not loud. It is steady and practical. As he walks, a woman carrying water steps aside to let him pass. He thanks her with a small nod. She smiles in a tired but friendly way. Morning chores are already well underway for many families. We notice the ground here is more earth than stone. Small patches of straw have been laid down to help keep mud under control. Chickens move freely, pecking gently, not afraid of passing feet. At the end of the street, we reach a small open space where several homes share access to a common well and washing area. Wooden tubs sit near the wall. Laundry lines stretch between posts. Simple life tools arranged carefully because space is valuable. The maker stops at one particular door. The door is wooden, with iron nails visible on the surface. The wood shows weather marks from many seasons, but it is strong and cared for. The latch is tied with a leather strip so it can be opened quietly. He knocks gently. Not loud, not sharp. After a few moments, the door opens. A woman stands there, wearing a simple wool dress and apron. Her hair is tied back in a cloth wrap. She looks tired in the normal way of someone who woke early and has already done much. She smiles when she sees the sack. She already knows what is inside. She steps aside, inviting him in, but he does not enter fully. He hands her the sack. She checks inside quickly. She lifts the bowl. She turns it in her hands, just like the maker did earlier. There is a quiet moment of satisfaction. She nods. He nods. No long conversation needed. This is routine. This is trust built slowly over time. She reaches to a small pouch at her waist and counts coins into his hand. The coins are small, worn, passed through many hands. He counts quickly but carefully. Exact payment. No argument. No delay. He thanks her quietly and steps back outside. But we will stay here a little longer, inside the home, because the bowl's journey is now continuing. The woman carries the bowl into her kitchen area. The kitchen is one main room with a hearth against one wall. The fire is already burning low and steady. A pot hangs above it, steaming gently. The room smells like warm grain porridge and smoke and herbs. She places the new bowl on the wooden table. The table has marks from knives, hot pots, and years of meals. The bowl fits naturally there, like it belongs. Soon it will be used many times a day, for porridge in the morning, for stew in the evening, for holding chopped vegetables, maybe for serving food to a child. Maybe for mixing herbs with oil. Objects in medieval homes are rarely single-purpose. One good bowl can serve many needs. A child enters the room, still sleepy, rubbing eyes. The woman smiles and touches the child's head softly. She pours warm porridge into the new bowl. Steam rises slowly. The child holds the bowl with both hands, feeling the warmth. The wood does not burn like metal would. Wood holds heat gently. The child eats slowly, blowing lightly across each spoonful, and here the bowl begins its real life. Not in the workshop, but in daily routine, in morning meals, in evening meals, in ordinary comfort. The woman later washes the bowl in warm water, not soaking long. Wood must be dried properly. She wipes it with cloth. She sets it near the hearth to dry slowly, not too close to heat. Care for objects is part of survival. Good items must last. Outside the house, life continues its steady rhythm. Laundry is hung. A neighbor borrows salt. Someone feeds pigs. Someone repairs a fence. No moment is dramatic, but every moment is necessary. If you imagine yourself sitting quietly in this home, you might hear the spoon touching the bowl, the fire shifting softly, cloth moving as someone works, low voices talking about simple plans for the day. This is the calm center of medieval daily life. Food, warmth, family, routine. As midday slowly approaches, the bowl will be used again, and again, and again, for years if it does not crack or split. And even if it does, it may still be used for dry goods or seeds or small storage. Nothing is wasted if it can still serve, and that is the quiet wisdom of this time. In the next part, we will step outside again and follow the slow movement of the town toward midday. How markets grow busier, how workers settle into steady rhythm, how the sun changes the mood of streets and homes. But for now, we let this home remain warm and steady and calm. The bowl rests on the table. The fire breathes softly. The town continues its slow, peaceful work. The morning continues its gentle journey toward midday. The sun is now higher but still soft. The light is no longer gray-blue like early dawn. Now it is pale gold, touching rooftops, warming stone walls, and slowly drying the moisture left from the night air. Inside the small home we just visited, the new wooden bowl now sits on a shelf after its first morning use. It is already becoming part of daily life, already becoming normal, already becoming invisible in the way that useful things often do. But we step back outside now. The street is more active than before, but still calm compared to any modern busy place. There are more footsteps, more carts, more voices, but everything still moves at human pace. No rushing, no loud machines, no sharp alarms, only the steady rhythm of people working, walking, and talking. The air smells different now, too. Less cool, more warm dust. Fresh bread still drifting from the bakery. A little smoke from cooking fires. The faint animal smell from nearby pens and carts. We begin walking toward the market square again, following the slow pull of daily life. As we move, we pass homes where doors are now open wide. Inside, we see quick, small movements. Someone cutting vegetables, someone mending cloth, someone combing a child's hair, someone packing items for selling later in the day. In medieval towns, homes and work are often very close together. Many people work in or near where they live. The distance between home life and work life is small. The transition between them is soft, not sharp. We turn onto the wider street leading to the market. Here, carts are more common now. Wooden wheels roll slowly over stone and earth. The sound is steady and repeating. A sound the town hears every day, so much that many people no longer notice it. A man pushes a small cart filled with cabbages and onions. He stops often to rest. Work is steady, but bodies must last for years. Pace matters. A young boy walks beside him, carrying a smaller basket. He is learning weight, learning balance, learning patience. We continue walking. The market square is now half full, not crowded, not loud, just steadily filling with life. Stalls are fully set up now, cloth stretched overhead to protect goods from sun or light rain. Tables lined with simple goods, nothing flashy, nothing decorative beyond necessity. Let us walk slowly along the edge of the square and notice each type of stall. First, vegetables. Turnips with rough skin, carrots not perfectly straight, onions tied together with twine, leeks stacked in neat rows. Everything looks natural, nothing polished, nothing shaped to look perfect. Food looks like it came from soil because it did. Next, eggs and dairy. Eggs in straw baskets. Some slightly different sizes, some slightly different colors. Small rounds of cheese wrapped in cloth. Butter packed into small wooden containers or wrapped in leaves. The dairy seller sits on a stool, knitting or mending cloth while waiting for customers. Time is never wasted if hands can stay busy. Next, pottery. Clay bowls, clay cups, water jugs. Some plain, some with simple lines scratched into the surface. The colors are warm earth tones, deep red clay, brown clay, gray fired clay. Pottery is heavy. Pottery is fragile. But pottery is everywhere in daily life. Then, cloth and clothing repairs, not fancy fashion, not seasonal trends, just wool cloaks, linen shirts, patched hose, repaired belts. Clothing must last long. Fabric is expensive. Repairs are normal, expected, respected. We continue walking slowly. The sounds of the market are like soft waves. Low voices bargaining politely. Coins touching wood. Cloth moving in wind. A donkey shifting weight. Someone coughing once, then quiet again. There is no loud shouting. Some sellers call softly, but not aggressively. Many customers already know who they buy from. Relationships matter more than shouting for attention. At the center of the square, near the well, several women fill buckets while talking quietly. They speak about weather, about harvest timing, about whose child is learning letters, about who might need help fixing a roof before winter months arrive. Daily life conversation is practical and supportive, not dramatic, not rushed, just shared living. We pause near the well. The rope creaks as a bucket is lifted. Water drips slowly back into the well mouth. The stone edge is smooth from many years of hands and ropes and buckets touching it. Water is life. Water is routine. Water is community. Now the sun is warm enough that cloaks are opened slightly. Some people remove gloves. Some tie cloth around heads to block sunlight. The sky is still gentle blue. Thin clouds move slowly, like long brush strokes. Time passes here without anyone needing to check it constantly. The position of the sun is enough. The feeling of hunger is enough. The ringing of bells later will be enough. We continue walking. At the far edge of the market square, a traveling trader has arrived. Not from extremely far away, but from another nearby town. He carries small metal items, nails, simple knives, hinges, buckles. These items are small but very important. Metal is strong. Metal tools last. But metal requires skilled workers and good fuel. So metal goods travel between towns. A few people gather quietly to look. They touch items carefully. They test weight. They check edges. Purchasing decisions are slow. People think carefully. Money is not wasted easily. Nearby, a baker's helper delivers fresh bread to a small food stall, where simple soup will be served later in the day. Soup in medieval towns is often a constant pot. Vegetables, grains, maybe small meat pieces if available. The pot changes slowly as ingredients are added and removed over hours or days. Food is not wasted. Flavor grows slowly. The smells now mix into a comforting market scent. Warm bread, vegetable earth smell, clay pottery dust, wool cloth warmth, cook fire smoke. Nothing sharp, nothing overwhelming, just layered life. If you imagine sitting quietly on a bench at the edge of this square, you would feel the town moving around you in slow circles of routine. A farmer arrives. A customer leaves. A child carries a message. A merchant checks stock. A dog sleeps in sun. Everything repeating. Everything steady. Now, let us follow the path of midday approaching. Shadows shorten slowly. The light becomes a little stronger, but still not harsh. People begin thinking about midday meals, not large feasts, just food that keeps strength for the rest of the day. Some stalls begin cooking small items. Some people return home to eat. Some eat bread and cheese while standing, resting hands and feet. The bell tower in the church will soon mark midday, but not yet. For now, the town lives in the long, slow middle of morning. And if your mind feels heavier now, slower now, that is perfectly fine. This story is built for that. Built for slow thinking. Built for soft drifting thoughts. In the next part, we will move quietly away from the market and follow the path toward the town gardens and small animal pens, where midday work has its own slow rhythm. But for now, we stay in this square a little longer, letting the sounds blur together into calm background life. Footsteps, cloth moving, low voices, water dripping, wood creaking, steady, predictable, safe. Midday is slowly arriving. The sun is now higher in the sky, but it is still gentle, filtered through thin clouds that soften the light. The warmth feels comfortable, not heavy, the kind of warmth that makes stone walls feel pleasant to touch and makes the smell of soil rise slowly into the air. We leave the market square behind us, not because it is loud, but because daily life spreads outward in soft circles, and now our path moves toward the edge of the town where homes meet small gardens, and gardens meet shared animal yards. The streets here are narrower again, less stone, more earth, more straw laid down to help with mud after rain. You may notice the sound changes too. The sound of coins and stalls becomes softer. Now we hear more natural sounds. A chicken scratching dirt, a goat shifting its hooves, wind moving lightly through drying laundry, wood fence posts creaking slightly as ropes pull against them. The air smells different here. Less bread, more soil, more plants, more hay, a little animal warmth mixed into everything. This is the part of the town where food begins before it becomes market goods, where small families grow what they can to support themselves and sometimes to sell extra. We walk slowly past a row of small garden plots. Each plot is not very large. Space inside town walls is precious, but each one is carefully used. The soil is turned by hand tools. The rows are not perfectly straight, but they are close enough. Close enough for watering, close enough for harvesting. Let us pause beside one garden. The soil is dark and slightly damp. You can see small green leaves pushing upward. Maybe cabbage, maybe herbs, maybe onions. Some plants are young and small. Some are already strong and thick. A woman kneels beside the garden row, pulling small weeds. She does not rush. She works plant by plant. She places weeds into a small basket. Nothing is thrown randomly. Even weeds can become animal feed or compost later. Her hands move slowly, carefully around plant roots. She knows how deep each plant sits. She knows which leaves mean healthy growth. This knowledge is not written in books for her. It lives in her hands. It lives in memory. It lives in years of repeating seasons. Near her, a small child sits on an overturned bucket, playing quietly with a smooth stone and a stick, drawing lines in the dirt. There is no rush to entertain children constantly. Children grow up around work, around rhythm, around normal life. The woman pauses to stretch her back slowly. She looks at the sky, judging weather by cloud shape and wind feeling. Weather knowledge is survival knowledge. Rain timing matters. Frost timing matters. Heat timing matters. We continue walking. Now we reach a shared animal yard behind several homes. The yard is enclosed by wooden fencing repaired many times over many years. Some fence posts are older than the homes themselves. Wood is reused whenever possible. Inside the yard are a few pigs, some chickens, maybe 2 goats, and one older donkey used for carrying loads from market or field edges. The animals are calm. They know feeding times. They know voices of owners. They move slowly because there is no reason to panic here. A man enters the yard carrying a bucket of scraps and grain mix. He whistles softly, not to command, just as habit. The animals gather slowly. He pours feed into wooden troughs. The pigs eat steadily, making soft, snorting sounds. Chickens peck carefully. The goats nibble and then look around for more. The man checks the fence, pressing boards lightly to make sure nothing has loosened. Fence repair is constant work. Wood changes with rain and sun. Nails loosen. Rope frays. He ties a new rope section around one fence post, pulling it tight. Knotting rope is daily skill. Fast, efficient, reliable. Nearby, A teenage girl carries water buckets to refill animal drinking troughs. The water splashes gently as she walks. She sets buckets down carefully to avoid wasting water. Water is never wasted casually. Let us move a little further, toward a line where gardens meet small herb patches. Here you see more delicate growing areas: mint, sage, thyme, parsley. Herbs serve many purposes: cooking, medicine, preserving food, calming teas, wound cleaning. Knowledge of herbs is passed through families quietly, carefully, like secret comfort. An older woman sits on a low stool trimming herb stems. She ties them into bundles using thin plant fiber string. She hangs bundles under a small roof overhang to dry slowly in shade. Drying herbs properly is patient work. Too fast drying ruins smell and power. Too slow drying can cause rot. Balance matters. The smell here is soft and calming. Green plant smell mixed with warm wood and summer air. If you imagine breathing here, it would feel clean and slow and peaceful. Now, let us notice how midday routines move gently forward. Some people return inside homes to prepare simple midday meals: bread with cheese, vegetable stew warmed again, maybe eggs if chickens laid well that week, maybe beans cooked slowly with herbs. Food is not wasted. Meals are not dramatic, but they are warm and steady. Smoke rises from several chimneys now, not thick smoke, just thin cooking smoke drifting slowly upward. We pass a small outdoor washing area. Cloth is being scrubbed slowly on wooden washboards. Soap is simple, often made from fat and ash. The smell is clean but earthy. Clothes are rinsed in tubs, then twisted carefully to remove water, then hung on rope lines to dry in sun and wind. Laundry is heavy work. Arms get tired, hands get rough, but clean clothing prevents sickness and keeps comfort. The sound of cloth slapping gently against wood is slow and repeating. Nearby, someone repairs a shoe. Leather must be oiled, stitched, repaired again and again. Good shoes are expensive. People care for them carefully. Now, the sun is near highest point of the sky. Shadows are shorter. Heat is a little stronger, but still comfortable. Some animals lie down in shade. Some people sit for a few minutes of rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is necessary for long working lives. We find a small shaded tree near the yard fence. If you imagine sitting there, you would feel a light breeze touching your face. You would hear distant market sounds, but very soft now. You would hear insects moving in grass. You would hear leaves moving slowly overhead. This is midday calm, not silent, but peaceful. Time here does not feel rushed. The day is long. Work is steady. Life moves in cycles of season, light, and need. Soon, people will begin second half of workday, preparing goods for tomorrow, repairing tools, finishing tasks started in morning. In the next part, we will follow the slow afternoon return toward workshops and indoor crafts, where hands continue working even as sunlight begins its slow path downward. But for now, we stay here in the warmth of midday, surrounded by soil, animals, plants, and quiet human routine, steady breathing, soft wind, warm sun, gentle life continuing without hurry. The day has reached its warm middle and is now beginning its slow, gentle turn toward afternoon. The sun is still high, but you can feel a small change in the light. It is no longer climbing. It is now resting, slowly preparing to move downward. The air feels slightly warmer, but not heavy, not uncomfortable. Just the kind of warmth that makes people move a little slower and speak a little softer. We step away from the garden paths and animal yards, following a narrow walkway back toward the deeper parts of the town. This path is used often. You can see it in the ground. slightly smoother where many feet have passed, slightly darker where shadows stay longer during the day. As we walk, some people are finishing their midday meals. Some sit outside on small stools, finishing the last piece of bread. Some wipe bowls clean with cloth. Nothing is wasted. Even the last crumbs matter. A woman steps outside her door and shakes a cloth gently, letting bread dust fall to the ground where chickens will soon find it. Nothing is thrown away if it can still serve a purpose. The afternoon is beginning, and with it comes a quieter, more focused kind of work. Morning is for setup, for preparation, for markets and movement. Afternoon is for making, fixing, shaping, finishing. We return toward the workshop streets. These streets feel different from the market and gardens. Here, the air smells more like materials: wood, leather, clay, metal, oil, wool. We pass a leather worker's shop. The door is open to let air move through. Inside, strips of leather hang from beams. Some are stiff and new. Some are soft from oil and use. The leather worker sits on a low bench, stitching slowly. Needle in, pull thread, tighten, repeat. The sound is soft but steady. Leather stretching slightly. Thread pulling through holes. Knife tapping wood when set down between cuts. Leather work is careful work. Too tight stitching cracks leather. Too loose stitching weakens it. Balance is everything. We continue walking. Next is a pottery workspace. Outside, rows of clay pieces sit drying in shade. Bowls, cups, small storage jars. The clay is still pale and fragile. Later, it will be fired in a kiln and become strong and permanent. Inside, a potter sits at a wheel. The wheel turns slowly, not fast like modern machines. The potter uses a foot to keep the wheel moving. The motion is slow and repeating. The hands shape clay gently upward. Wet clay smells like fresh earth after rain. The potter's hands are wet. Clay coats fingers and palms. Each movement is careful. The shape grows slowly. A bowl rising from spinning mud into something useful and lasting. The sound here is very calming. Wheel turning. Clay sliding under fingers. Water dripping back into a bowl. Nothing sharp. Nothing sudden. We move on. The blacksmith's workshop is quieter now than it will be later, but still active. The forge is warm, glowing orange, not blazing bright. The blacksmith works slower during warm afternoon hours. Metal holds heat well. There is no need to rush. Hammer taps metal, not loud strikes, just shaping taps. Tap, pause, turn metal. Tap again. The smell here is metal and warm coal. Not unpleasant, just strong and real. We keep walking deeper into the craft streets. Many workshops share one thing: open doors. Light and air matter. Smell must move out. Dust must not stay trapped inside. We reach again the wooden goods workshop we visited earlier. Inside, the light is different now. Morning light was soft and low. Afternoon light enters higher, creating stronger shapes of shadow and brightness across the floor. The maker is still working. Now he is shaping small spoon handles. The work is repetitive, calm, steady. He has already made many today. He will make many more tomorrow, and the day after. In medieval life, skill grows through repetition, not through sudden change. On a small side table, the worker now has a cup of watered ale or herbal drink. Hydration matters. Strength must last all day. He pauses to stretch his fingers. He rolls his shoulders slowly. Then he returns to work. Tools touch wood. Wood dust falls. Cloth wipes surface. The afternoon rhythm is slower than morning. The town is not waking anymore. It is settling into steady effort. Outside, the street sounds are softer too. Fewer carts now. More steady walking. More doors closing as people focus on indoor work. Some children play quietly in shaded areas, using simple toys, carved wood animals, cloth dolls, sticks, stones. Play is imagination and movement, not noise and flashing lights. We step outside again. The sun is now beginning to move toward late afternoon, though slowly. Shadows begin stretching again, just slightly longer than before. Laundry lines now hold dry clothing. Some people remove clothes and fold them carefully. Cloth must be stored clean and dry to last longer. A man sits repairing a wooden cartwheel. He turns it slowly, checking for cracks. He replaces one peg, tightens another. Cartwheels are life tools. Without them, transport becomes slow and difficult. Nearby, a woman spins wool thread using a drop spindle. The spindle spins slowly, twisting wool into strong thread. The motion is rhythmic and peaceful. Spin, pause, pull wool, spin again. Thread grows slowly, like time itself. Now the air begins cooling slightly. Not cold, just less warm. The kind of temperature that makes people think about evening tasks soon. Cooking preparations will begin again. Animals will be fed again. Fires will be built for night warmth. But not yet. For now, the town stays in this gentle afternoon work state. If you imagine walking slowly here, your footsteps would match everyone else's pace. No one is rushing. No one is pushing past. Everyone is moving through their day like part of a shared rhythm. The sky is still pale blue. Clouds are thin and drifting slowly. Birds move across rooftops, searching for safe resting places for later evening. The town smells slightly different again now. Less fresh bread, more warm wood, more sun-warmed stone, more soft smoke starting from early cooking fires. And if your body feels heavy now, or your eyes feel slower, that is perfectly fine. This is the hour where energy becomes calm and steady. In the next part, we will follow the town as late afternoon slowly moves toward early evening. When market stalls close, when homes prepare meals, when fires glow brighter again. But for now, we remain in this slow afternoon. Hands working, tools moving, wind soft, sun gentle, life steady. The afternoon is now slowly leaning toward evening. The sun has moved lower in the sky, and its light is warmer now. Not brighter, not stronger, just warmer. The color of the light turns more golden, touching rooftops and walls in a soft glow that feels calm and familiar. The air is beginning to cool slightly, and a gentle breeze moves through the streets, carrying the mixed smells of the town in a softer way than midday did. We begin walking back toward the market square again, not because it is busy now, but because this is the hour when the market begins its slow, careful closing. The streets feel a little quieter, not empty, not silent, just calmer. Some workers are finishing last tasks before heading home. Some are delivering final goods. Some are already thinking about supper and warmth and rest. As we reach the market square, we see the gentle change happening. The vegetable stalls are not empty yet, but sellers are beginning to group items together. Unsold vegetables are placed into baskets to be carried home or stored for tomorrow. Nothing is thrown away unless it truly cannot be used. A seller carefully wraps remaining onions in cloth. Another stacks turnips into a wooden crate. A third gives a small bundle of greens to a neighbor instead of letting it spoil. Community and practicality live side by side here. The egg seller counts remaining eggs slowly, placing straw carefully between layers. Eggs break easily. Care matters. The cloth seller folds fabric with slow, practiced hands. Each fold is straight. Each roll is tight. Cloth must be protected from dirt and moisture. The pottery seller checks each item before packing. Clay can crack easily if handled roughly. He taps each piece lightly, listening to the sound. A clear sound means it is still strong. The sounds of the market are softer now. Cloth folding, wood boxes closing, low voices saying goodbye until tomorrow, footsteps leaving the square slowly. Near the well, fewer people gather now. Most homes already have water for evening cooking. One last bucket is pulled up. The rope creaks slowly. The bucket knocks gently against stone. We walk slowly through the square. A dog lies stretched in a warm patch of sunlight, half asleep. A child sits nearby, drawing shapes in dust with a stick. The child is not loud, just quietly busy. The sky is changing color now, still blue above, but closer to the horizon. There is pale gold, and maybe a hint of soft orange beginning to appear. The church bell rings once. Not a long call, just a single tone. A reminder of time moving forward. The sound spreads across the town, soft and deep. People do not stop suddenly when the bell rings, but many notice it. Many feel it as part of their daily rhythm. Now we follow the slow movement of people leaving the square. Some carry baskets, some carry empty sacks, some walk with tools resting over shoulders. Everyone moves at walking pace. No one runs unless there is true need. Running wastes energy needed for long days. We follow a small group walking toward the residential streets. They talk quietly about normal things. Weather for tomorrow. Whether the baker will have rye bread or wheat bread. Whether someone's roof repair is holding well after last rain. Whether a child is feeling better after a fever last week. Life is built from small shared information, shared care, shared memory. Now, smoke begins rising more steadily from chimneys. Evening, cooking fires are being built stronger. The smell changes again. Cooking grain, boiling vegetables, stew slowly heating, sometimes a little meat if a family has it available. Warm food smell spreads slowly through streets, mixing with cool evening air. We turn into a residential lane again. Doors are open. Light from fires flickers inside homes. People move between inside and outside spaces, carrying water, bringing in tools, calling children inside for supper. A woman shakes a rug outside her doorway. Dust rises briefly, then settles. She rolls the rug and carries it inside. A man stacks cut wood beside his door, preparing fuel for night fire. Each piece of wood is valuable. Each piece represents warmth and cooking and safety. We pass a small outdoor bench where an older man sits, slowly carving a small piece of wood. Not because he must, just because hands like to stay busy. Work can be comfort. Nearby, two women finish folding laundry. They talk softly. Their voices mix with wind and distant animal sounds. In the animal yard, feeding happens again. Chickens gather quickly when grain is scattered. Goats move toward water troughs. Pigs settle into slower movements as evening approaches. Animals feel day rhythms too. Now the light is softer. Shadows are longer. The temperature drops gently. Some people light oil lamps inside homes. The small yellow light begins glowing in windows. Not bright, just warm. The town begins to look like a collection of small, glowing stars at ground level. If you imagine walking here now, you would feel a strong sense of routine comfort. This hour is predictable, safe, known. Dinner will happen. Stories will be told quietly. Clothes will be prepared for tomorrow. Fires will be fed. Doors will close. We reach a small home where a family is preparing evening meal. Inside, the hearth fire is stronger now. A pot of stew moves slowly with gentle bubbles. The wooden bowl we followed earlier might be used again now, filled with warm food, passed to family members one by one. Eating is not rushed. People sit. People talk softly. People eat slowly. The fire makes small crackling sounds. The smell of stew fills the room. The air is warm and comforting. After eating, bowls are wiped clean, washed lightly. set near hearth to dry. Children become quieter as evening deepens. Energy lowers naturally with fading light. Outside, stars will begin appearing soon. Now, the town is moving fully into evening routine, not silent yet, but calmer than any part of the day. In the next part, we will follow the town into early night. When doors close, fires glow strongest, and the outside streets become quiet again under dark sky and soft lantern light. But for now, we stay here in this slow evening beginning. Warm light in windows, soft voices inside homes, cooling air outside, smoke rising slowly upward, the town preparing gently for night. Evening is now slowly becoming night. The sun has moved below the rooftops, and the sky is changing from soft gold into deeper blue. Not dark yet, just the calm blue that comes before stars become bright enough to notice clearly. The air is cooler now, not cold, just fresh and calm. The kind of air that makes people pull cloaks a little closer around shoulders and makes firelight. Inside, homes feel even warmer. We walk slowly through the residential streets again, but everything feels softer now. Most doors are closed, not locked with fear, just closed for warmth, privacy, and rest. Small lines of light glow from cracks around shutters. Oil lamps and hearth fires create warm, golden light inside homes. From outside, each window looks like a quiet, steady candle. The sounds of the town are changing. Less footsteps, less voices, more fire crackling, more quiet animal sounds, more wind moving gently through narrow streets. We walk slowly toward the center of town again, just to feel how night changes familiar places. The market square is now almost empty. The stalls are gone, the tables stacked away, the cloth coverings folded and stored. The open space feels larger now without the daytime activity. The well stands quiet and still. A lantern hangs nearby, placed there by town workers or guards. The lantern light is soft, yellow, and steady. It does not try to make the square bright. It only makes sure the ground is visible and safe. The stone of the square now feels cooler underfoot. The air holds less dust and more night freshness. A town guard walks slowly across the square, not in a hurry, not watching for danger constantly, just walking a path he has walked many nights before. His boots sound steady on stone. He carries a lantern and maybe a short staff or spear. His job is routine, to be seen, to be present, to be part of the town's nighttime safety. He pauses near the well, looks around slowly, then continues walking. We follow at a distance, just observing the quiet pattern. Above us, the sky grows darker blue. One star appears, then another, then several more. Without modern lights, medieval night skies are very clear. Stars look stronger, more present, like a slow-moving map of time itself. Now we walk away from the square again, moving into a street where homes sit close together. Inside homes, families are finishing evening routines. Some people sit near fires repairing small things, sewing cloth, fixing tools, sharpening knives slowly. Some people talk quietly about tomorrow's tasks. Some people simply sit and rest, letting tired muscles relax after long workdays. In one home, someone reads, or listens to reading if they are lucky enough to have books or written prayers. In many homes, stories are spoken from memory instead. Stories help pass time, help pass knowledge, help pass comfort. We walk past a home where quiet laughter escapes briefly when a door opens, then closes again. Laughter is not loud, just warm and human. Nearby, laundry that dried earlier is now folded and stored safely inside. In animal yards, feeding is finished. Animals settle into sleep positions. Chickens climb to safe roosting places. Goats lie down together for warmth. The donkey stands quietly, resting one leg. Animals sleep in rhythms too. They know night is rest time. Now the wind moves a little more through streets. It carries soft smells, cooling stone, fading cooking smoke, damp wood. High. We walk slowly toward the church building. The bell tower is quiet now. No bells ringing, only the tall dark shape against the star sky. The church door is closed, but sometimes a small candle or lamp glows faintly inside, left by someone finishing late prayer or night duty. The churchyard is peaceful. Stone markers sit quietly. Grass moves slightly in wind. The world feels very still here. If you imagine standing here, you might feel time slowing down even more. Day work is finished. Night rest is beginning. The town is safe inside walls. People are home. Fires are lit. We continue walking slowly along the inside of the town wall. The wall itself is large and steady, built stone by stone, year by year. The wall holds back wild animals, strangers, and weather wind. But it also holds in community, shared life, shared safety. From here, we can see rooftops glowing faintly with firelight from inside homes. The stars are now brighter. Constellations, shapes made from stars, move slowly across the sky through the night hours. Medieval people often know these star patterns. They help travelers. They help farmers track seasons. They help mark passing time. Now the town is almost fully quiet, not silent, but deeply calm. A baby might cry briefly, then settle. A door might open quietly, then close again. A log might shift inside a hearth fire, but these sounds are soft, gentle, safe. If you imagine lying down in a medieval home now, you would hear fire breathing slowly, someone turning in sleep nearby, wind touching shutters softly, maybe an owl far away, and the feeling would be simple. Work done, food eaten, warmth near, night long and safe. We slowly walk back toward the street where we began earlier in the story, near the wooden goods workshop. The workshop is now dark. Tools rest where they were left. Wood dust sits quietly on the floor. Tomorrow morning, work will begin again. Same tools, same rhythm, same careful hands. Routine continues across days, weeks, years, and that repetition is comforting. Now night deepens further. More stars appear. The sky turns from deep blue toward almost black, but still soft and peaceful. In the next part, we will follow the deepest night hours, when most of the town sleeps, when only guards and a few night workers remain awake, when the world feels slowest and most still. But for now, we remain in this early night calm, lantern light glowing, stars above, fire warmth inside homes, the town resting safely inside its walls. Night has now fully settled over the town. The sky is deep and dark, not empty, but filled with quiet stars that seem brighter than anything seen during the day. Without bright city lights, the stars look close, like small, steady lanterns hanging in the sky. The air is cooler now, not sharp, not uncomfortable, just calm and clean, the kind of air that feels still and patient. Most of the town is asleep. We walk slowly through the streets, but now our footsteps feel softer, like the town itself is breathing slower. Windows are mostly dark now. Only a few still glow faintly. Perhaps a home, where someone is caring for a sick family member, or where a new baby has not yet learned night rhythms, or where someone wakes early for long-distance travel tomorrow. The market square is empty now. The well stands quiet under starlight. The lantern that burned earlier is now dimmer, or replaced by a new one hung by a passing guard. The light circle is small, just enough to show ground and wall edges. The stone holds the cool of night. If you imagine touching the stone of the well now, it would feel slightly damp from night air moisture. We walk across the square slowly. The sound here is different from any other time of day. No bargaining voices, no cartwheels, no stall cloth moving, only wind touching corners of buildings, distant animal shifting in sleep, very soft footstep echo if someone passes far away. Now we notice one of the night guards again. He walks slowly along his path. He carries a lantern. The lantern glass protects the flame from wind. The light moves gently with each step. The guard is not tense. He is watchful in a calm way. Night guard duty is long and quiet. Many hours, many slow walks, many moments of just listening. He stops at certain points, corners, gates, wall stairs. He listens, he looks, then he continues. Routine builds safety. We follow the edge of the street toward the town wall again. The main gate is closed for the night. Large wooden beams are set across the inside to secure it. Iron brackets hold everything in place. 2 guards sit nearby, speaking quietly. Not constant talking, just occasional words to stay awake and alert. One adjusts his cloak around shoulders. The other warms hands near a small shielded lantern. Night work is slow work. Now we walk along the wall path. From here, outside the walls is mostly dark farmland and open land. No city glow, just black shapes of fields and trees. Maybe faint movement of wind across tall grass. Inside the wall, the town looks like small clusters of shadow and faint light. The stars above are now very clear. Medieval people often sleep in patterns that follow darkness. Some sleep deeply. Some wake briefly in middle of night, then sleep again. Night is long. Rest is long. Inside homes, fires are now mostly low embers, enough to give gentle warmth, enough to be safe. Let us imagine inside one home. The family sleeps under wool blankets. The blankets are heavy but warm. Straw mattress beneath them is not soft like modern beds, but it holds warmth well. The wooden bowl we followed earlier sits on a shelf nearby, clean, dry, waiting for morning use again. Objects rest too. Tools rest. Clothes rest. Shoes rest near doors. The entire town rests. Now, the sounds of night become even softer. A distant owl call, a horse shifting weight in stable straw, wind brushing roof edges. If you imagine lying down now, breathing slowly, you might feel the calm heaviness of true night rest. No schedules to check, no messages arriving, no machines humming, only slow time. Now we move again through the streets. We pass a small home where someone wakes briefly to add wood to a fire. The door opens slightly. Warm light spills onto the street for a moment, then closes again. Night continues. We walk past the church. The bell tower stands silent. The sky behind it is filled with stars. Church buildings at night often feel very still, like they are listening to time itself. The churchyard grass moves gently with wind. Stone markers cast soft, dark shapes in starlight. Now the deepest part of night approaches. This is the hour when even night guards feel the weight of sleep trying to pull at them. The body naturally wants rest. The town becomes quieter than any other hour. The wind slows. The animals are fully still. The fires are mostly embers. This is the hour where time feels almost paused. If you imagine breathing now, you might feel your breathing matching the slow rhythm of the sleeping town. Slow inhale, slow exhale. The stars slowly move across the sky, but so slowly that it is almost impossible to notice moment to moment. Night is long, patient, and protective. Soon, many hours from now, the first faint gray light of dawn will return. Bakers will wake. Guards will change shifts. Fires will be built stronger again. The cycle will begin again, but not yet. For now, the town is fully resting. In the next part, we will follow the very first moments before dawn returns, the soft transition between deepest night and earliest morning, when the world feels most quiet and most gentle. But for now, we remain in deep night, stars steady above, town sleeping below, wind slow, time soft. The deepest part of night has passed, though the town does not know it yet. There is a special hour that exists between true night and true morning. It is the hour when darkness is still strong, but something inside the air begins to change. The world feels slightly lighter, even before the eyes can see it. We walk slowly through the town streets again. Everything is still asleep. The sky above is still dark, but if you look carefully near the far horizon, there is the faintest hint of gray, not enough to be called light, just enough to suggest that night will not last forever. The stars are still bright. Some appear sharper now because the air is colder and clearer. Medieval nights often bring cool air that makes the sky feel wide and endless. The air touches your skin gently, cool, calm, clean. This is the hour when the town is at its quietest. Even the night guards move more slowly now. They are near the end of long shifts. Their footsteps are careful and measured, conserving energy. Their lanterns burn lower, oil slowly reaching its end. We pass one guard standing near a corner tower. He is not tired in a dramatic way, just heavy-eyed in a calm, familiar way. He shifts his weight, looks at the sky, listens to the wind moving through narrow stone passages. Routine keeps him steady. He knows dawn will come. He knows relief will come. He knows morning guards will arrive soon. We continue walking toward the market square. The square is still empty. The well rope hangs motionless. The lantern nearby burns low, flame small and steady. The stone ground holds deep night coolness now. If you placed your hand on the stone, it would feel cold but not wet, just cool from hours without sunlight. The air smells clean. Most cooking fires are out. Smoke smell has faded. Now you mostly smell stone, wood, and faint earth. We walk slowly across the square. Above us, the sky begins changing very slowly. Dark black, deep blue, slightly lighter blue near the horizon. It is so slow that many people would never notice unless they stayed awake all night. Now we walk toward the bakery street. Inside the bakery, the first signs of morning life are beginning, but very quietly. A baker wakes before almost everyone. He steps into the workshop area and checks the oven from last night. He clears ash slowly. He prepares wood for new fire. He moves carefully, quietly, because the building is still half asleep, because the town is still half asleep. He lights the first small flame. Fire does not roar immediately. Fire grows slowly. Small flame, larger flame, warming oven walls. The smell of wood smoke begins again, but very faint. The baker measures flour, water, salt, maybe sour starter saved from yesterday's batch. His hands move from memory, from repetition, from years of doing the same calm morning work. Outside, the street is still empty, but soon another early worker will wake, and another, and another. Now we move toward the animal yards. The animals are still mostly asleep, but some are beginning to shift. A chicken might move slightly on its roost. A goat might stretch legs slowly. A donkey might lift its head briefly, then rest again. Animals feel light changes even when humans do not. Now the sky is slowly becoming lighter, gray-blue near the horizon. Stars near the horizon begin fading first. The highest stars remain visible longer. This is the transition hour, the bridge between night and morning. If you imagine standing here, breathing slowly, you would feel the world preparing to wake, but not rushing to do so. The air feels expectant but calm. Now we walk toward residential streets. Inside homes, most people are still asleep. but a few early risers begin small movements. Someone turns in sleep. Someone wakes briefly and adjusts a blanket. Someone checks fire embers and adds one small piece of wood. No full waking yet, just preparation. The wooden bowl we followed earlier still sits quietly on shelf, waiting for morning porridge again. Objects wait patiently for human routines. Now the sky shifts again. Gray becomes slightly brighter. Blue becomes more visible. The horizon looks like soft, painted color rather than darkness. Birds will begin soon. Not loud yet. Just first small morning calls. The wind is softer now. The coldest part of night has passed. We walk slowly toward the town gate. The gate guards prepare for shift change. One stretches arms slowly. Another checks gate beams. Routine safety checks happen every morning and every night. No shortcuts. Outside the gate, farmland is still dark, but less invisible now. Shapes of fields become faintly visible. Inside the gate, the town looks like it is holding one last deep breath of night. Now, the very first bird call. Soft, short, then silence, then another. Then, maybe 2 or 3 birds begin testing morning sounds. The sky becomes more gray than blue now. Soon, true dawn light will return, and with it, bakers will work fully. Guards will change. Fires will be built stronger. Homes will wake. Markets will begin preparing again. The cycle continues, but for now, we remain in this softest hour. The quiet doorway between night and day. The town is not fully asleep anymore, but not awake either, just resting in between. In the next part, we will follow the first full light of dawn as the town begins its new day again, repeating the calm cycle we have followed since the very beginning. But for now, we stay in this gentle, almost morning stillness. Stars fading slowly, sky lightening slowly, town breathing slowly, time moving softly forward. The first true light of dawn is now beginning to arrive, not suddenly, not brightly, just slowly, gently, like someone opening a curtain one small step at a time. The sky near the horizon is now pale gray with a soft hint of silver blue. The darkest stars have already faded. Only a few of the brightest remain, and even they are slowly disappearing into the growing light. The air feels fresh and slightly damp, the way air often feels after a long, cool night. The ground holds tiny drops of moisture that formed during the darkness. Stone walls feel cool but not cold. Wooden doors feel slightly damp to the touch. This is the moment when the town is no longer night, but not yet fully morning. We walk slowly through the streets again. The silence is different now. It is no longer the heavy silence of deep night. It is the light silence of waiting morning. Now birds begin more clearly. One bird calls. Then another answers. Then several begin gentle morning songs. Not loud, not sharp. Just natural life returning. We walk toward the bakery street again. Inside, the baker is now fully working. The oven is warm. The first loaves are already shaped and placed inside. The smell of fresh bread is starting again. Soft, warm, comforting. The baker moves with calm confidence. He has done this morning routine thousands of times. His hands move without needing to think about each step. Flour dust floats lightly in the new morning light entering through the window. Outside, the street is still mostly empty, but now there is movement. One early customer walks slowly toward the bakery, cloak pulled around shoulders. They carry a small basket. Morning bread will soon be inside it. Now we move toward the residential streets. Inside homes, people begin waking. Not all at once, not with alarms, but with light slowly entering rooms, with bodies naturally feeling morning time. Someone sits up slowly. Someone pulls blankets back. Someone adds wood to the fire. Fire smoke begins rising from chimneys again. Thin at first, then slowly stronger. The smell of morning fires mixes with cool morning air. We pass the home we visited earlier. Inside, the woman who bought the wooden bowl is waking. She wraps a shawl around shoulders and moves toward the hearth. She stirs embers, adds small wood pieces, blows gently. Fire slowly grows again. Soon, water will be heated. Porridge will be prepared. The wooden bowl will return to daily use. Routine continues, day after day, season after season. Now the sky grows brighter. Gray becomes pale gold. Clouds catch light and turn soft pink and silver. The sun is still below the horizon, but its light is already touching the highest parts of the world. We walk toward the market square again. The square is still empty, but now it feels like a stage waiting for actors to return. The well rope now glistens slightly with morning moisture. The lantern that burned at night is now being extinguished by a passing guard finishing his shift. New guards arrive. Quiet greetings are exchanged. Routine shift change. Same as yesterday, same as tomorrow. We walk slowly across the square. The stone now begins losing night cold. The air feels slightly warmer than before. Now more people begin stepping into streets. A woman carrying water bucket. A man stretching his back outside his door. A child stepping outside to look at morning sky. Morning begins quietly, person by person. We move toward the animal yards again. Chickens jump down from roosts. Goats stand and stretch. The donkey shifts and shakes its mane slowly. Feeding will happen soon. Water will be refreshed. Animal routine mirrors human routine. Now, the first edge of sun appears at the horizon, a thin golden line. Then slowly, slowly, the sun begins rising. Light spreads across rooftops, across walls, across streets, across gardens. Everything looks softer and clearer at the same time. Morning smells grow stronger. Fresh bread, morning fire smoke, damp soil warming, fresh-cut herbs. The town is waking again. Work will begin again. Markets will fill again. Workshops will open again. Homes will cook again. The same cycle, the same rhythm, the same calm repetition. If you imagine standing here now, you would feel a gentle sense of comfort in knowing what comes next. Nothing surprising, nothing sudden, just daily life continuing. Now we walk back toward the wooden goods workshop one more time. The door is still closed, but inside the worker will wake soon. He will open shutters. Light will enter. Tools will be picked up. Wood will be shaped again. The same careful work, the same slow sounds, the same steady routine. And that is the quiet beauty of this town. Not dramatic history, not loud history, but daily human life continuing through time. Now the sun rises fully above the horizon. The sky is pale blue. Clouds glow soft white. Shadows return, but now from morning direction. The town is fully morning again, and we have come full circle. From dawn, through day, through evening, through night, back to dawn again. In the next part, we will gently step away from the town itself and reflect on the calm rhythm of medieval daily life. How repetition, routine, and slow living shaped entire generations. But for now, we stand quietly in this new morning. Light growing, people waking, town breathing, history continuing softly forward. Morning has now fully arrived. But today, instead of following one single street or one single person, we gently step back and look at the wider rhythm of life that surrounds this town. Because medieval life is not only about one day. It is about days repeating, weeks repeating, seasons repeating, generations repeating. And this repetition is not boring in a bad way. It is calming, predictable, safe. We imagine standing on a small hill just outside the town walls, where we can see rooftops, chimneys, fields beyond. and slow-moving clouds above. The town is fully awake now. Smoke rises steadily from many chimneys. The market is beginning to fill again. Workshops are opening. Doors are wide. The day begins its familiar pattern again. But now, we focus on time moving slower than a single day. Let us begin with the rhythm of a week. In medieval towns, days are often similar, but not identical. Some days are market days, busier, more voices, more carts arriving from nearby villages. Some days are quieter, more indoor work, more repair work, more preparation for future selling. Some days are church days, slower work, more gathering, more rest. People do not think of weekends the way modern people do, but they still have patterns. Work days, holy days, rest moments. Now let us move into the rhythm of seasons, because seasons shape everything. Spring. In spring, the town smells like wet soil and new plant growth. Farmers outside the town begin preparing fields. Seeds are planted carefully. Rain is watched closely. Too much rain can damage. Too little rain can worry people. Inside town, gardens begin growing again. Herb patches wake from winter sleep. Chickens lay more eggs. People feel hopeful but cautious. Spring can still surprise with cold nights. Clothing changes slowly. Heavy winter cloaks become lighter. Fires burn less often, but still needed on cold mornings. The air feels alive but gentle. Summer. In summer, the town becomes warmer and brighter. Work begins earlier in the day to avoid strong midday heat. Some work pauses during hottest hours, then resumes later afternoon. Markets often feel fuller in summer. More vegetables, more fruit, more trade goods moving between towns. Laundry dries faster. Bread rises faster. People drink more water and watered ale to stay hydrated. Nights are shorter. Evening comes later. Stars appear later. Summer smells like warm grain, herbs, animals, sun-warmed wood, and dust from dry roads. Autumn. In autumn, the town becomes busy again, but in a focused, careful way. Harvest arrives. Grain, apples, root vegetables, beans, herbs for drying. Food preservation becomes extremely important. Drying herbs, storing grain, salted foods, root cellars filled carefully. People think about winter constantly during autumn. Roofs repaired, firewood stacked, animal shelters strengthened. The air smells like dry leaves, wood smoke, fresh harvest vegetables. Evenings become cooler. Fires burn earlier. Cloaks return slowly. Winter. Winter is quiet, but not empty. Snow or cold rain may cover roads. Travel becomes slower. Markets may be smaller, but still active. Indoor work becomes very important. Sewing, tool repair, wood carving, leather work, wool spinning. Families spend more time close together near fires. Nights are long. Sleep is longer. Stories are told more often. Quiet craft work fills long evenings. Winter smells like fire smoke, wool, stored food, warm bread, and cold air outside. Now we step back even further, beyond seasons, into life patterns across years. Children grow slowly into workers. Young apprentices learn skills from masters. Not quickly, not in weeks, but in years. Skills pass from parent to child, from master to apprentice, from neighbor to neighbor. Knowledge is not stored in large libraries for most people. It is stored in memory, in hands, in routine, and this creates stability. People know what tomorrow will likely bring. Wake, work, eat, repair, care for animals, care for family, sleep, repeat, and inside this repetition there is comfort. Now, imagine one person in this town living full life. They are born in a home like the ones we visited. They grow learning daily tasks. They help in garden. They learn craft. They grow into adulthood. They work daily routines. They raise children. They teach children same routines. Life is not about dramatic change. It is about steady continuation, and that can feel very calming to imagine, because nothing moves too fast. No sudden global news. No constant loud information. No constant pressure to change everything at once. Only steady life. Now we return our view back toward the town streets again. The market is now active again. But you know this scene already. You know how it sounds. You know how it smells. You know how it moves, because you have walked through it. From dawn, through day, through evening, through night, back to dawn again, and now through seasons and years. In the next part, we will move into the deepest, calmest reflection, how slow living shaped the minds and emotions of people in this time, and how routine gave comfort and stability. But for now, we stay here on the hill, watching smoke rise, hearing distant market sounds, feeling wind moving slowly across fields, time moving forward, but never rushing. The morning continues to grow brighter, but now we step away from streets and buildings again, and gently move into something softer, the feeling of how people in this time may have experienced life inside their minds, not the big history of kings or wars, but the quiet history of thoughts, the quiet history of feelings, the quiet history of daily comfort. Let us imagine sitting on a wooden bench near the edge of the town, where you can see rooftops, hear distant market sounds, and feel the slow wind moving across fields. Life in medieval times is not easy. Work is physical. Weather matters deeply. Food security is always important. But life is also deeply structured by routine, and routine has a calming effect on the human mind. When each day follows a familiar pattern, the brain spends less energy worrying about unknowns. People wake when light comes. People eat when food is ready. People work tasks they already know how to do. People sleep when darkness settles. There are fewer sudden changes, fewer unexpected interruptions. And because of this, the mind often moves slower. Thoughts follow daily tasks. If you are shaping wood, you think about wood. If you are tending animals, you think about animals. If you are cooking food, you think about food. There is less space for endless worrying thoughts that jump between many unrelated problems. Let us imagine one person from the town sitting quietly after evening meal. They sit near the fire. The fire moves slowly. The light flickers gently on walls. They are not thinking about 10 years into the future. They are thinking about, will tomorrow be dry enough to work outside? Do we have enough grain for winter? Does the roof need one more repair before heavy rain? These are real worries, but they are practical worries. Problems that can be solved slowly, step by step. The mind learns patience. The mind learns endurance. The mind learns to accept that not everything can be changed quickly, and there is comfort in that. Now imagine nighttime thinking. There are no glowing screens, no constant news, no endless messages arriving. When night comes, darkness becomes signal for rest. The brain follows darkness naturally. Melatonin rises. Eyes close easier. Sleep comes slower but deeper. Many people in medieval times may sleep in 2 phases. First sleep, then wake briefly, then second sleep. This is natural pattern for human biology without artificial light. During middle waking, people might pray, think quietly, check fire, then sleep again. This pattern is calm, natural, gentle. Now think about community effect on mind. People live close to neighbors. They know who lives near them. They know who can help in emergency. They know who shares tools, who shares seeds, who shares news. This creates emotional safety, not perfect safety, but known safety. Loneliness exists, But isolation is less common in tightly connected small towns. Human brains are built for small communities. Now let us think about sound environment. No constant engine noise, no loud city traffic, no electrical humming. Instead, wind, animals, tools, voices, fire. Natural sound patterns help brain relax. Predictable sound lowers stress response. Now imagine children growing in this environment. They learn by watching, by helping, by repeating small tasks. They do not have constant new stimulation. They learn patience. They learn slow skill building. They learn waiting for seasons. Waiting teaches emotional regulation. Now imagine aging in this town. Older people are still useful. They teach. They repair small things. They tell stories. They hold memory of past seasons and events. Being useful gives emotional stability. Now we imagine the feeling of time itself. Without clocks everywhere, time feels less exact, less rushed, more flexible. Work ends when light ends. Work begins when light begins. This creates a natural daily rhythm connected to earth and sky. Now, imagine sitting quietly, breathing slowly like someone in this town. You hear distant hammer tap. You hear wind across roof tiles. You hear someone walking past slowly. Your thoughts slow naturally. No need to hurry thinking. No need to multitask constantly. Just one thought, then another, then maybe quiet space between thoughts. This mental space is deeply calming. Now we gently shift perspective. Even when life was hard, routine helped people cope. Routine created structure. Structure created predictability. Predictability created emotional stability. And this is why slow historical daily life can feel very relaxing to imagine, because it is built from repetition and known patterns. Now we return our view slowly back toward the town again. The market is active. Workshops are working. Animals are being cared for. Meals are being prepared. But all of it happens inside a slow, emotional rhythm. Not fast, not chaotic, just steady. In the next part, we will move into the final deep reflection. How this slow rhythm of life connects to human sleep, comfort, and deep rest. And why stories like this help modern listeners relax. But for now, we stay here in this calm, thinking space. Wind moving slowly. Town sounds soft in distance. Mind moving gently. Thoughts settling. The morning continues in the town. But now we move into something even softer. Not the streets. Not the markets. Not the workshops. Now we gently move into the feeling of rest itself. Because the slow rhythm of medieval life is not only about work. It is also about how humans naturally rest when life follows predictable patterns. Let us imagine you are inside a small medieval home in the late evening, after a long but steady day. The fire is low but warm. The room is dim but comfortable. The air smells like wood smoke and cooked grain. The body feels tired, but not stressed tired. Just used tired. Work tired. Natural tired. And this kind of tiredness is very different from modern mental overload tiredness. Physical work creates body fatigue. Routine creates emotional calm. Predictable days create mental quiet. All of these together help sleep arrive naturally. Now imagine lying down in a medieval bed. The mattress is filled with straw or wool stuffing. It is firm but warm. The blankets are heavy wool, slightly rough, but comforting. The room is dark except for faint fire glow. There is no bright artificial light keeping the brain awake. The brain sees darkness and begins sleep process naturally. Breathing slows. Heart rate slows. Muscles release tension slowly. The body trusts nighttime again. Now imagine sound environment again. Fire crackle. Wind moving outside. Maybe soft animal sound far away. These sounds are repetitive and predictable. The brain labels them safe. The brain stops scanning for danger. The brain allows sleep to deepen. Now think about something important. Medieval people often live with natural light exposure all day. Sunlight in morning, sunlight in afternoon, darkness at night. This helps circadian rhythm, the body clock, stay very strong and stable. Strong circadian rhythm leads to easier sleep onset, deeper sleep cycles, more regular wake times. Now imagine night middle wake period. Many people wake briefly in middle of night naturally. They adjust blanket, maybe drink water, maybe check fire, then return to sleep. Because no bright lights shock the brain awake, returning to sleep is easier. Now think about emotional safety. Families sleep near each other, children close to parents, community very close, even neighbors just one wall away. The brain feels less alone. Safety feeling helps nervous system relax deeper into sleep. Now let us imagine winter night sleep. Outside, wind, snow maybe, cold air. Inside, fire warmth, thick blankets, family close, food stored safely. The contrast between outside cold and inside warmth increases comfort feeling. The brain releases tension. Now imagine summer night sleep. Windows or shutters open slightly. Night air moves slowly through room. Insects outside make steady background sound. The brain accepts this as normal environment. Sleep becomes rhythm with nature. Now think about dreams. Without constant late-night stimulation, dreams may be slower, more connected to daily life images, fields, animals, tools, food, family. Not fast-flashing images, not constant new noise. Now we slowly move toward connection with modern listener, but gently, softly. When you listen to slow historical stories, your brain receives signals similar to slow, predictable environments. Steady voice, predictable pacing, repetitive, calm imagery, low emotional stress. The brain lowers alert state. The body shifts toward rest mode. Breathing deepens. Muscle tension releases. Thought speed slows. Now imagine yourself inside this medieval town. At night, safe inside walls, warm near fire, routine known. Tomorrow predictable. Nothing urgent. Nothing sudden. Nothing demanding immediate action. Just time passing slowly. And that feeling is deeply restful for human nervous system. Now imagine night becoming deeper again. Fire becomes embers. Town becomes quiet. Sky fills with stars. Breathing slow. Body heavy. Mind quiet. Sleep comes naturally. Now we slowly prepare for the final part of this journey. In the next part, we will gently close the story by returning one final time to the quiet town at dawn, completing the full circle of calm time and allowing the story to settle fully into rest. But for now, we remain here in this deep rest feeling. Warm fire glow, soft night air, heavy blankets, slow breathing, calm mind. The night has now passed fully once more, and just like before, without hurry, without noise, without sharp change, the first light of dawn begins returning to the town again. The sky is dark blue, slowly turning gray near the horizon. The brightest stars fade first. Then the smaller ones follow, one by one, like tiny candles being gently covered by soft morning light. The air is cool, fresh, and very still. This is the quietest moment of the entire cycle. The moment when night is almost gone, and morning is not fully here yet. The town rests in this gentle space between endings and beginnings. We walk slowly through the streets one last time. The stones beneath our feet still hold night coolness. The wooden doors still hold small drops of morning moisture. The air smells clean, like earth and stone and distant fields. The market square is empty again, just like the very first time we saw it. The well stands silent. The rope hangs still. The lantern from night watch is now dark. Everything is waiting. Now, in the distance, a very soft sound begins. Not loud, not sharp, just the first bird of morning testing the air with a quiet call. Then silence again. Then another bird answers. The world is waking again, but slowly, gently, kindly. We walk toward the bakery street once more. Inside the bakery, the first worker of the day is already awake, just like every morning before this one. He clears last night's ash. He builds a new fire. He prepares dough. The same movements, the same quiet sounds, the same steady beginning. Routine continues without needing to be forced. Now we move toward the residential streets again. Inside homes, people begin waking slowly. Someone turns under blankets. Someone stretches arms slowly. Someone steps toward the hearth to wake the fire. Fire sparks again. Water warms again. Breakfast prepares again. The wooden bowl we followed earlier is lifted again. Filled again. Used again. Washed again. Dried again. Objects live inside routine. Now the sky brightens more. Gray becomes pale gold. Clouds catch light and glow softly. Rooftops shine with morning moisture. The town is waking again. Chimneys begin releasing thin smoke. Doors open slowly. Footsteps return to streets. No rush, no panic, just life continuing. We walk slowly toward the town gate one last time. The guards change shifts again. Night guard nods to morning guard. Morning guard checks gate beams. Routine safety continues. Outside the walls, fields slowly become visible again. Mist sits low over ground. The world beyond town waits for farmers and travelers. Inside the town, life prepares to begin again. The market will fill. Workshops will open. Animals will be fed. Meals will be cooked. The same calm circle repeating. Now the sun finally appears again, slowly rising above the horizon. Golden light spreads across stone, wood, and earth. The town is fully morning again, and here we gently step back, like closing a book very slowly, very softly, because this town will continue. After this day, there will be another. After that day, another. After that, another. Generations will live here, work here, eat here, sleep here. The rhythm will continue long after any single person is gone, and that rhythm is calm, predictable, steady, safe. If you imagine yourself standing here at dawn, you might feel something very simple. Time is moving forward, but it is not rushing you. It is not pulling you. It is just moving gently, and you can rest inside that feeling. The birds are singing softly now. The air is warming slowly. The town is waking fully again, and the calm cycle continues, quietly, gently, endlessly.